Okay, before we even go any further, bro, for whatever reason, this time of day, the natural lighting from the window makes me look super light skinned, bro. I'm like extra light skinned right now. I'm about to star in Twilight, bro. I'm gonna be a vampire. All right. Anyways, let's bring it in real quick. This is gonna be a serious conversation. And before we even go any further, to the dipshits getting ready to ask, why go publicly? Why not just message him privately? Shut your goofy ass up. Get in the back. Okay. Why go publicly? Or why go private with knowledge that can be applicable to not only this human being, but many other human beings out there that may have been in similar situations, right? Majority of the time, knowledge is shared so that we can all collectively grow as a human race and be more aware, be more intelligent, and overall a positive impact for the world. So when you say, why go publicly? Well, imagine if everybody with knowledge, insight, wisdom, and enlightenment, whatever the hell word you want to give it, imagine if nobody shared it. They just kept it to themselves privately. Well, we'd have a bunch of dumbasses roaming around in the world. That's what would happen. So that's why we go publicly. Let's establish that first and foremost. Now, to the root of the problem. XgoSolo. I hear you're taking a break after the podcast. And honestly, I don't blame you. I think that was one hell of a left hook on the button in the boxing, right? Right on the chin. Perfect punch, perfect accuracy. What I'm saying is I think anybody who's in your position receiving the feedback that you received and squandering that opportunity the way that you squandered it, I think I'd be down for the count too and doing some deep self-reflecting. What I'm saying is I understand it and I want to help you ultimately, as well as many other people who have also done what you have done. They just didn't get caught on the platform the way you got caught on. That's the whole purpose of making this video. And there's a lot to talk about. And I'm not going to tell you, take this advice, if you will, do it what you want. No, this is the right goddamn advice. I know it in every fiber of my being. And if you apply it, it'll help you in the long run. First thing I want to talk to you about is Tectone's not your enemy. I also don't believe Tectone is your friend. I believe Tectone is an acquaintance that is willing to give a business opportunity to anyone who can add value to his channel or entertainment. That's not a negative and that's not a positive. That's a neutral. What I will say is thousands of content creators on the internet would kill, no, I'm not gonna say kill, but they would love and they're desperately craving the attention and exposureship that you got on that podcast. He gave you a chance, not expecting you to do what you ended up doing, which was yapping everybody's goddamn ears off. Hear me out. I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you the harsh goddamn truth that will actually help you. I'm not a fan of sugarcoating. You know, I don't tiptoe around. I say it like it is. He gave you an opportunity because he actually saw intelligence in you, and he actually saw that you had something to add to that podcast. And I want to talk to you about that whole experience because I think you're an intelligent human being. I just learned it from the most recent video you made that I believe you set to private, and that's your business. But I listened to that video and that was an entirely different solo from the one that was in the podcast. I saw an intelligent human being in that video. I said, oh, this is what Tectone's all in. I'm explaining this context because I don't know how it occurred. I hear that you invited yourself. Whether you invited yourself or he invited you, the moment you said yes, you were presented with an opportunity that was massive with regards to exposureship, especially considering your channel. 7,000 subscribers or so. He's at 637,000, averaging millions of views a month. And that podcast right now is at 120,000 views plus and counting. You were presented with an opportunity of massive exposureship to either capitalize on or squander entirely. Whatever happens after you got invited and said yes, from that point on, it all is on you. Because understand this, the biggest risk taker is the one who has a lot going for them. The least risk taker is the person who can only go up. The risk was taken with Tech letting you on that podcast because he didn't know that you were gonna do that shit. And again, we haven't gotten to the good advice yet. I'm explaining this into you in the way you should receive it. Was when once you get on there and you start yapping and all of that, nobody knew this was going to happen. With me in particular, Tech saw something in me when he invited me on the very first podcast. He saw something in me that was of value. He brought me on there. He didn't know I was going to provide the shit I be providing on podcasts. That's a chance. That's a risk. If I fuck it up, guess who has to deal with it afterwards? Or if I fuck it up and the internet starts roasting me, that's my fault. Nobody knew I was going to do that. So I need you to understand that. It's important to understand that the risk are involved with both parties, and everybody has to deal with the risks that are also participating in that podcast, including us. I had to listen to yo yapping that was not pleasant for a whole goddamn 3 hours. Again, I didn't know that was going to happen either, but I ended up dealing with it and being tolerant. And that's what you need to understand. The internet is not very tolerant. The internet is not a sugarcoater. They're just like me, except 3 million times worse. The internet is going to tell you the unapologetic truth with even more harshness, and then you mix that in with the darkness of people who are living miserable lives, and they're just gonna beat on you just because everybody else is and they enjoy it. So I say that because if you capitalize on it, the internet will also be your biggest fan. But if you squander it, the internet's gonna be your worst enemy, and they're gonna hammer you hard, and they're gonna tell you everything that needs to be said. They're like a 7-year-old boy. 7-year-old boy is gonna tell the truth no matter what. If his mom's fat, he's gonna tell her she's fat without any malice. And she probably gonna slap the shit out of him, right? Unfortunately, you can't slap the shit out of the internet. So let's get that established first. Now let's talk about the most valuable input that I could possibly provide to you and everyone else. And this isn't my advice, it's Matthew McConaughey's advice. He said on the Lex Fridman podcast, if anybody is interested, Matthew McConaughey, Lex Fridman podcast interview. Lex Fridman is one of the most prominent podcast figures in the industry right now. He's killing it, he's crushing it. And Matthew McConaughey said to him, not word for word, it's a rough draft. He said, I'm a fan of your podcast. I love your work. I love what you do. I love the genuine conversations that you have with all these celebrities and people who have made names for themselves that the world is a raving fan of. And, you know, these people are big deals. They're renowned. But he said, I'm a fan of your podcast, and I reveled in the idea of participating in it and having a conversation with you because I understand what it means to have meaningful conversations, real conversations, not bullshit. He said, what I like about you is that you're involved. You're in the present instead of being impressed and being starstruck, right? And Matthew McConaughey said, I'm here today to have a good conversation with you. I'm not here to be impressed because I'm a fan of you. I'm here to be involved. I'm here to be present. What I saw from you, XgoSolo, in that podcast that we participated in, you were not involved and you were not present. You were impressed. You were starstruck in a way. You were more impressed with the idea of being on a platform with bigger creators, and that distracted you from being involved and in the present. And unfortunately, because of that, your intelligence took a back seat and your ignorance was riding shotgun. The worst thing you can do when you're having a conversation is one of two things. One, be distracted, and two, be impressed. I don't care about the accolades of the motherfucker I'm talking to. I don't care what they've done out in life. I'm there to have a conversation of meaningful value that can be applied to both the people exchanged in that party and be applied to the world. That's why I go publicly with this information. That's my real purpose. I'm on this platform for gaming to give me a stepping stool to have meaningful conversations. My end game here is to have good conversations to help the youth grow. That's what I don't give a fuck about the drama, the clout chasing, or none of that. I want to ensure that I am Dr. Ratio in real life. I am curing idiocy and putting so much game on people for free 99 if they only open their goddamn ears, that we grow collectively as a race. The next time you go on a podcast, you're not impressed. You're involved, you're present. And when you break silence because there is truly something meaningful to say that has value to it. You're not just breaking silence to curse for no reason. You're not just breaking silence because you want to be impressed. Give me a second, my daughter's crying. Apologies, again, my daughter was crying. I didn't want it to interrupt the video. Back to what I was saying. You're taking a break. I think that's great. Do the reflecting, do everything you need. But what I don't want you to do is go into a corner, for too long. I understand. Sometimes I go in a goddamn corner and I need to get some things out. I need to get some demons out. But what I want you to do is I want you to come back stronger and let the world know that podcast does not define who XgoSolo is, and you are an intelligent human being. This is not, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. After listening to that video, you articulate yourself well, you convey things well, and you're able to have a conversation. So I want you to come back from this stronger. Like Rocky said, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Like I said, they hit your ass on the chin, button, you got hit with a TKO. Get back up, recover from it. And you know what the beautiful thing is about tech? The polarizing teddy bear who's annoying as shit and also lovable and also a dickhead and also gets naked on stream for no goddamn reason. That same guy who you definitely had some bitter feelings towards after that podcast is the kind of guy to say, come back on, man. If you were to hit him up, hey, I need to redeem myself. You will never see that solo happen again. That solo, he's in the back with Amber. I'm here to have a good ass conversation this time, and I want you to give me another opportunity. That same guy is the type of person to say, yeah, fuck it, come on, let's do it. And understand, again, from that moment going forward, a valuable opportunity has been given to you in terms of exposureship and growth that you can do in leaps and bounds in like weeks, if only you capitalize on it. And understand that same guy will also go with the flow. He will be Bruce Lee. He will be like water. And if you're not capitalizing, guess what? He's going with the flow. I need you to understand this, man, because that's so important in business and in this industry. We're not here to give you the naive teenager mindset of, oh, he's my friend, how could he do that and make fun of me in real time? Hey, man, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself, brother, okay? Come back stronger. That's the best damn advice I can give you. Learn from this, apply this wisdom, and understand that you have to be involved and in the present in a conversation instead of being impressed. That's what I have to say. That's the message for you. Apply it, not take it as you will. Apply the shit. It will help. Trust. Best of luck on your reflecting and recovery. I know you'll come back stronger. You got it in you, brother. Much love, peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.